Hey guys, it's me, Meteor. Here we are back to Kirby 64 once again. We're going to be finishing up Aqua Star, which is quite a beautiful scene, and then continuing on. So let's begin. Here we're on a beach. I just love this music of this level so much. It's just so calming, so nice. Now this one could shoot maracas at you. Or not shoot them, but just like hit them with it. Hit him above, and it doesn't really do much. It just stands there. These, however, hold them above you. Oh, well, that turns into a giant star. Not what I was looking for. What did these do if I hold them above? Also not much. Whatever. Now, what you want to look for, well, you're not going to be looking for anytime soon. Those little antlion things, once again, appear in this level as well, so just stay above the ground. Reminds me of, when I kids, or my sisters, used to talk about Sandman when they went to the beach and tried to scare us. It's kind of an interesting thing, but whatever, doesn't really matter. That was a long time ago. Don't even remember how long ago that was. Could have been 5, maybe like 3. I don't even know. Who knows? Doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. But got one up from getting more stars. That's cool. Shot those just on random platforms in the middle of the station. Now this is what you want. Grab this. Yeah, you have to stick with Cutter, walking underwater very slowly. You could stay above the water, but then you set yourself up for more damage. Yeah, this is not the best. Oh, come on. And it's horrible because you try using the cutter to hit something, you can't even float out or anything like that because the way it works. You can't float when you have cutter. Kind of annoying. Oh yeah, look at this. Water, look at that. Fish physics. Get near it, they go away. Scatter. Neat. Somebody submit that to low poly animals. Anyway, let's take that. And you'll see this little bomb fish. Throw it at the bomb fish. If you get too close to it, it'll explode. But you want bomb and cutter. That's right, you want that cool ability. Shurikens, baby. You know what? Just because I can, I'm going to blow up the blocks. It'd be cool if I could hit something. Oh, well, point is, we want to use it to go over here. Ah, oh well. I was hoping I could ride that up. Come on, ride up, ride up. There we go. Yay! You want to go in this hole at the very top of the cliff. Drop all the way down. You'll see a max tune over here, which is nice. But more importantly, you'll see this black and green mossy rock. Shuriken that, and you get yourself a crystal shard. Shuriken that, and break yourself out of there. And just launch yourself back up on that rock from a geyser. But don't go too far. We want to go back and get another cutter from the same spot. I'll meet you back there, because that's important. Otherwise, you're going to have to do the entire level all over again. Which is not Stop! See, that's what I'm talking about. Like, once kind of rolls you on land, it's kind of hard to recover until they free you. Sometimes it's literally impossible because you get trapped and you just die. Alright, so here we are back again with Cutter F. If you decide to take the bottom route, there's a nice little piece of cheesecake for you. Or just shortcake, not cheesecake. It's clearly not cheesecake in any stretch. Just keep moving. You can't get by the corridors as long as you keep moving to the right. But you want to combine it with rock right there. If you miss, you have to go back and get Cutter from that one guy once again. Because you cannot go back here from this point. You'll see DDD there on a platform. You go too far to the right, you will launch here, and it'll be one of the few times where you cannot go back. You're out of luck. So hopefully by this point you already got yourself rock and cutter, so you can get ready for what's to be ahead. Now, if you notice, you have Rick there. Look, he could climb walls. That's useful. What? Oh, all right. More importantly, we have Pitch. Pitch is very awesome. I love this. Look how quick Pitch is. Pitch is just a great character all around. And Pitch also has a really good Twitter account if you're into that sort of thing. Unofficial, of course, but doesn't really matter. Here, you just kind of want to be a rock and run into it. You can't get hurt running into it. So just keep running into it, unless you're kind. Oh, well, that's cool. If you were any close, if you were right next to him trying to smash him for the final hit, he'll fall down that hole. I almost forgot. Well, actually, I did forget about that. I was just fortunate enough to be right next to the hole before falling in. So yeah, I would have to play the whole level again regardless, besides me trying not to. And you'll fall down a very, very large hole. And you'll see a little brown and green spot down there. Thankfully, we had ourselves the rocking cutter. And look, fine, let me just get Kirby. You get a 1 up there, that's cool. Now, if you notice, or try to float up here. No dice. Too high up. You cannot do it. None of the other abilities or any other characters that could fly will help either. If you try to go with pitch and then float as Kirby, not going to work. So, unless you play Dreamland 3 or Dreamland 2, this would probably stump you pretty good. And even then, probably still would, kind of. You just want to make sure you get Rick. Wait for Rick. 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 Come on. No. No. Come on. How could you possibly have this? I don't need pitch that many times. How many times was it choo-choo and pitch already? Okay, now it's just messing with me. There's no way I could give this many times and not get Rick. What are the odds of this? Nago. No. 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 Anytime. There we are. Yay. And if you notice, you have to climb the wall. If you time it just right, you could climb up pretty fast. It's almost like a rhythm game, having to tap at the right moment. You can go all the way to the top if you want to, and wee clunk. And that's it. Let's give it another ability though, because that doesn't really serve us much purpose underwater. In fact, it kind of just slows us down even worse than normal. This is what I'm talking about. These spots with the splinters. Once it falls, you can't for some reason jump up for like 2 seconds, and if you get hit in that time, you're just gonna be dragged across the floor. So a better alternative is to just float across the entire thing and don't even hit the platform, period. Much, much better off. And one more time on this side, and then you'll see a platform with 3 of them, which would be even worse if you landed on it. Let's just not do that. Theoretically, and I've did this before, if you jump on it at just the right second and jump off at just the right second, you can also avoid getting hit that way. But you have to time it properly every single time, and that's not recommended. And that's that. Let's grab that card all the way over there. Can I reach it? No. I got a single star. Hooray. And now we're in the final level of Aqua Star. Well, they don't really have names thinking about it. You'll see these sea butterflies. Or are they sea angels? Or what are they? What, I don't forget. I think it's a sea butterfly in Animal Crossing, but I think there's a more proper term for those types of things. I think they get down to 1 health already? Man, that's not good. That is not good at all. What I wanted to do was show it off. If you held it above you. Oh, well. Does it do anything? Oh, guess not. Oh well, I thought it for some reason shot out 3 things as well. I'm just gonna run into you and die. The music at the death of the death is kind of different too than normal Kirby games, but I think it's just a slowed down version of the same normal theme we hear, kind of like rearranged, so I don't think it's really any truly different. But you'll just see a section here of rocks. I love the way this area looks. Look at that. Ow. Like the way the has like those little basins, the bubbles coming out of it, the different colors. It's just beautiful looking. I don't know, it's nice. So you wouldn't really expect out of 64, but you could essentially get yourself 2 missiles or 2 bombs if you want to get some missiles going on there. I don't think it's worth the time considering how slowly everything moves. And I talked about making these low poly animals before. Pretty sure those are just sprites, so I don't think they can really do that anyway. There's plenty of other alternatives in here for the low poly animal subscription thing. Anyway, here you want to make sure you go you want to make sure you get all the way to the top left. That is important. That way you can get a crystal shard that's over there at the top. Kind of follow along with the Gordos. Just keep staying over to the left. And stay up to the top. And there you go. If you don't go from the left, you can't swim back because the current is too strong. So there's that. Plenty of little stars around here to grab. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think there's a single crystal shard in here you need any abilities for. Yeah, there's not. The crystal shard down here, when I get to the very bottom of the pole, climb down, get off on the other side, and then kind of jump up to it. But be quick, because if you don't be quick, you're going to go ahead and, well, miss it, and you can't swim back because, once again, strong current. Ow. And if I just swam down at the normal speed, I would have not gotten hurt by that. It happens. At least now I can kind of swim at a fast speed around here. If you try tapping to swim the button, you could potentially swim faster, but basically you can only swim up. You can't swim down at that point. So, and it's also a lot harder to control. It's a lot easier to control Kirby just by moving up and down to the control pad when you're in a current like this, or just move the control pad by itself on a current like this. Trying to tap the buttons, unless you need to grab something up there real quick, is not really quite recommended. You can still get hit a lot, but it doesn't matter. And now we have a mini boss underwater, once again with a current. So let's kind of time it just right. Wait for it. Oh, I thought I was gonna deal time. Alright, I'll just stand up here in the meantime while you go around and swim. There we are. Perfect. Yay. Okay. So I made it out of that mini boss. There's no crystal shard there to grab. Let's see. You want to stay to the bottom. Stay to the bottom of this section. You'll see spaces with food to grab, and you can also avoid rocks. But more importantly, at the bottom, one of these divots, one of these divots has a crystal shard. Yeah, the rocks move faster than you can swim, so that's another thing too. Gotta be careful of that. So you kind of have to avoid it. It kind of reminds me of the Magolor EX race from Dream Collection, where you have to kind of run to the right while he's also launching stuff. At the same time, it's like if you try to avoid the rocks too much and kind of float above them, then you'll miss this gap right here and miss that crystal shard. So, I guess you kind of have to eat some hits while you're trying to do that. Oh well. And so you get to the very top. This is one time you have to tap on the button to float up quickly. And that's the end of that level. Whee! Almost thought I jumped over it. Alright, well that was relatively quick. Thankfully, we still have a boss to go here, and this is gonna be Acro. Fun fact, I used to originally hate this boss with a burning passion. Mainly because it's entirely underwater, it's so slow, and that happens. But, honestly, Acro has some kind of nostalgic feel. I like to see Acro come back in a real Kirby game. I think Acro deserves a shot a lot better than, say, I don't know, Pawn and Con. But, yeah, whatever. who am I to judge on choices? I mean, it's not like there are other duos that have better, you know, recognition that would be better suited for a boss like Mr. Shine and Mr. Bright, or I don't know, something other than Pawn and Con. But I'm sure there's at least 3 fans of Pawn and Con out there that like it better than any of the other more nostalgic bosses, and I can't really judge those opinions. But you know, whatever. For this fight, it's usually always best to stay at the top left corner. Pretty much because Acro cannot hurt you there. All of its acrobatic tricks, for some reason, are ineffective in the top left. Or top right if you're on the other side. Like here would be the top left, where Acro cannot hurt you. If you're over on the other side, it would be the top right. See, look, it somehow just gets right out of range of your attacks. Once again, out of range of your attacks. It's kind of interesting, kind of a nice little thing to know as well. I just wish this boss would be a lot faster paced than what it is. It's not as slow paced as, say, Acro from Dreamland 3, but it's still pretty slow paced regardless. Just give me something to work with here. Oh, come on, you know that was right there. No. I tried to get close to you, and it failed. Just wait for you to drop down. Come on. Nope. Nope. Come on. There we are. Yay! We defeated it. It's now going to fall into the ground and we'll never see it again. Yep, that's the end of the battle. Not really, because the music's still going on. No one ever believes that. The second phase is honestly a lot easier than the first, and a lot quicker. The reason being is that you can stay all the way to the left or right of the match, and Acro will never hit you. None of the enemies can hurt you, and you're pretty much in a safe spot right here. So as long as you just stay to the left, and just keep tapping A to, or B, or whatever, whatever controller you're using to float up, and stay that way, because if you don't wait too long, you'll hit to the edge and, well, you'll die. You'll lose a life. And just make sure you inhale the enemies before it goes to the bottom, because if you go too close to it, you'll get hit by it. And just wait. Gotcha. Haha. So now it's just a matter of time and waiting. Pretty much that's all Acro in a nutshell, is just waiting. Waiting for literally anything at all to happen. Like, sure, I could cut Acro some slack here, because this was before Kirby bosses started getting really complex and amazing. So, if they brought Acro back, I'm sure they could do so much more with this boss, and probably make it a lot quicker, honestly, than this. Hold on a second. I think I get it now. Acro is just water Kabula. Battle is based on rails. They each fire Gordos and missiles, or torpedoes in Acro's case. They each have similar body shapes, and they both spin around to attack you directly. What if Acro is really a robot too? What if those Robo-Acros we saw in Robobot were really recreated from blueprints Haltman obtained, like pics from Rockstar? That would mean that Acro is also an ancient creation. That would also explain how one exists in Aqua Star and Pop Star. Ha! It all makes sense. Checkmate, Hal! And Acro is now defeated. Yay! Now I get the Crystal Shard and move on. Yay! Isn't that nice? Just sitting at the beach, relaxing. I'm sure you don't have to worry about sunburn in Kirby's world, so it's probably even better. Hey Kirby, fun fact, twisting your arm like that doesn't make things fly any quicker. Unless you're DK, but either way, getting washed ashore by a giant wave. And hey look, everyone's already leaving. Better hurry up, Kirby. So the crystal shard can open up portals for others to jump through, but it has to travel itself to other planets. That's interesting. Anyway, with that, we are done with level 3 Aqua Stars, so next time we'll be going over to level 4 Neo Star. See you guys next time.